जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारि यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम
Krishna Krishna Krishna
हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
Jai Kunjavi Gopijana Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Balagi Jai Subhadra Jai Subhadra Mate Jai Subhadra Patarami Nayana Patarami Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patarami Nayana Patarami Jagannatha Nayana Patarami Nayana Patarami कलियुग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय So we'll continue with prayers. Collectively, Hare Krishna. Is my voice is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, thank you.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कथामह्यं ददाति स्वपदाङ्कितं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भागवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये नमः ब्राह्मण्यदेवाय गो ब्राह्मण्यहिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सभाह्यांतर शुचि श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। हरे कृष्णा माताजी प्रभुजी दंडवत प्रणाम। Just before proceeding, just to let you know, I have no qualification. Forget about studying Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. I don't even qualification to touch even Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. It is just mercy of Lilananda, His Grace Lilananda Prabhu and His Grace Pramala Govinda Prabhu. It is just their mercy that, okay, I could even just touch Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam Shastras. As a person, I have zero qualification. Any mistakes, if I'm saying anything, it's my conditional brain. Okay, um, that's all. Thank you. I'll start sharing my screen. Okay, before starting, Praveen Prabhu, thank you very much for joining Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Danot Pranam. Hare Krishna, Akinchan Priya Prabhu, Danot Pranam. Hare Krishna, Brahmarang Mataji, Danot Pranam. Hare Krishna, Ulsha Mataji, Danot Pranam. Hare Krishna, Subbara Prabhu, Danot Pranam. Hare Krishna, Silpa Mataji, Danot Pranam. Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna,
धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna, Madhusudan
हरे
Prabhu,
कृष्ण गुरु
Danot
जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna, Danot Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna. Started sharing my screen. Maybe hopefully you should be able to see the slides. One of you may confirm.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay. We are at the chapter Canto 4, chapter 20. Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaja Prithu. Yesterday, His Grace Dasraj Prabhu has covered 20 slokas. So we'll just do a quick recap and then we'll continue from there. So, okay, Prabhuji has covered, okay, first to 20 slokas still here. We will see what is the summary, what we have covered yesterday. Okay, Lord, first 1 to 16 slokas we have been covered as Lord Vishnu has instructed Prithu. What is that instruction we are seeing here? Okay, the first instruction from the Lord Vishnu is that please forgive Indra. Okay, he has done some mistakes, like he has created some obstacle. Okay, for Prithu's 100th yajna. So, in behalf of Indra, okay, Vishnu said like please forgive Indra. Okay, and he also said like knowledge and detached persons are not malicious towards others, are not carried away from Maya. Okay, the persons like you will not carried away with Maya, so please forgive him. That is what he said in first 1 to 6 slokas. And then knowledge of soul and super soul makes one unaffected by Maya. And then 9th to 10th sloka, we understand that he serves me by occupational duties and attains peace of perfect and vision. And then understanding the soul's real position makes one eligible for liberation. And then 13 to 15 sloka, we understand that protect the citizens and derive the result of benefits. And the 16th sloka, he said very clearly, I am pleased with you and ask good for a benediction. Okay, I ask good, please ask some benediction. I am very, very pleased with you. This is what Lord Vishnu is talking to King Prithu. Okay, Prithu is very happily accepted the instructions whatever Lord Vishnu has given. Okay, and Indra begs forgiveness. Okay, that is what we have covered 18 slokas, and 19, 20 also we covered yesterday. That is Lord mercy towards Prithu and Prithu's worship to the Lord. That we are some part we covered and some other part we are covering. And it's kind of two sections we covered yesterday and the two sections we are covering today, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay, hope we got the context on this. One of you may confirm that my voice is good and it is audible clearly.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. I mentioned before, we are in section 2. Okay, till 20 we have covered yesterday. We are moving to that. So Lord showing the affectionate, okay, affectionate towards the Prithvi. What is that affectionate? We have covered in 2 slokas and remaining 2, 3 slokas we are seeing it now. Okay, so we are in section 2, leftward part of section 2 we are seeing now. So we are at a sloka 21. I'm straight away going through the translation, Prabhuji's Mataji's. The original king, Maharaja Prithu, his eyes full of tears and his voice flattering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord with his heart and remained standing in the way with folded hands. Lord, this is the expression of Maharaj Prithu. His eyes full of tears, in voice is flattering and completely choked up. And he could neither see because his eyes is fully with the tears. Okay, his Lord very distinctly. Okay, and nor he could not speak and address the Lord. He's in a different mood. Okay, he's in such kind of mood. Okay, and he embraced the Lord within his heart. That is his current condition, Prabhuji's Mataji's of the Prithu. So let us understand the important points of the purport. The purports which we are seeing now, the 16 purports are really nectaries, Prabhuji's Mataji's, and I highlighted some key portions with a red color. Each word is really nectarious. Okay, so we could learn so much from the purport, each word and each line. So we don't need to discuss anything. If you just read and line by line, word by word, and line by line, read the Prabhupada purports, we can understand completely the heart of Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So let us start understanding from the purports. Just as Krishna addressed, okay, in Brahma Samhita as Adi Purusha, the original personality. So the King Prutu, being an empowered incarnation of the Lord, is referred to as verse Adi Raja. So here Lord is referring Prutu Maharaj as a Adi Raja, the original of ideal king. Okay, he was a great devotee, at the same time the great hero who conquered all our undesirable elements in his kingdom. He was so powerful that he was equal fighting to Indra, the king of heaven. He gave the protection to his citizens, keeping them engaged in the pious activities and the devotion of the Lord. He did not collect a single cent of tax from the citizens without being able to give them protection from all the calamities. That's the greatness of King Prutu. Now, here the Prabhupada is giving what is the definition of exactly calamity. The greatest calamity in the life is to become the godless and therefore sinful. Okay, what the greatest calamity for our life in our life is also the Prabhupada is giving very clear definition. If one becomes godless, that itself is a calamity for us. See how strong Prabhupada here. If the state head king allows the citizen to become sinful by indulging illicit sex of life, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, then the king is responsible and he has to suffer the result sequence of reactions of the sinful lives of the citizens because he levies the taxes on them unnecessarily. There are principles of ruling power, and because Maharaja Prutu observed all the principles of ruling chief, he is referred as Adi Purusha, Adi Raja. So he's been called as Adi Raja because he's been followed all these principles. So Prabhuji's Mataji, we have to be very clear whom we are choosing as a king of this state, okay, or of this country. Okay. Even a responsible king like Maharaja Prutu can become a pure devotee of the first order. Okay, we can distinctly see from the king Prutu behavior how he can become ecstatic, both externally and internally, in a pure devotional service. Just today we have seen a newspaper. Okay, the Prabhupada has picked up example. Okay, so in Bombay there is a government. Okay, we repealing the who has a prohibition laws. So since the Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, Bombay has been kept dry and not allowed citizens to drink. But unfortunately, citizens are so clever that they have increased the illicit distillation of liquor, and although not being sold publicly in the shops, liquor is being sold in the public lavatories and similar abnormal places. They're being sold. So, unable to check such illicit smuggling, the government has decided to manufacture the liquor at a cheaper prices so that people can have their supplies are of inoculation directly from the government instead of purchasing it from the public lavatories. The government failed to change. Here, the key thing what? The government failed to change the hearts of the citizens from indulging the sinful life. Okay, this is one of the primary responsibility of the government. Okay, which Prabhupada is mentioning. Okay, government should help to change the hearts of the citizens from the indulging sinful lives. So instead of losing the taxes they collect inflate the treasury. So they have decided to manufacture the liquor and supply to the citizens who hanker after it. That is what these governments are doing. So this kind of government cannot check the resultant actions of the sinful life, namely. So what is the result of all these things? Okay, Prabhupada is saying here. So we may end up having wars, okay, and earthquakes or any kind of troubles, okay, from the nature. Every action will have an opposite reaction, Prabhuji's Matajis. In the same way, we will have the reaction, okay. So recently, the Prabhupada is talking about there is a war. Okay, when the Prabhupada has written this fourth canto, okay, there was a war between India and Pakistan. Because of that, there is lot of suffering. So here Prabhupada is mentioning, I highlighted in a red color. The Krishna conscious movement is meant to make the people pure and perfect. This is the only way Prabhupada is mentioning. If we become even a partially proved, see, even if we become partially proved, as described in the Bhagavatam, what it is mentioned, Nasta Praveshu, Abhadreshu. by the developing Krishna conscious, then the lust and greed and material diseases of the citizens will be reduced. Even if somebody started, even if not become a pure devotee, started. And what is going to happen? The lust, greed, and material diseases. Material diseases means what? Hankering that to conquer some material. Okay, some lands, flats, plots, independent houses. That material hankering will be reduced. That is what is Prabhupada is telling. The lust and greed and material diseases will be controlled. This made it possible by simply broadcasting the pure message of Srimad Bhagavatam or Krishna consciousness. See, we have great opportunity to spread this Srimad Bhagavatam right now, where Subhara Prabhu is and Lilananda Prabhu and everybody in Gachibowli congregation encouraging to distribute 500 Bhagavatam in 500 temples. So let us put the efforts to spread the broadcast the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Subhara Prabhu mentioned we have some time till October 2nd to distribute some more left out sets, I think. So let us spread this message. Okay, everybody, let us contact our friends, our congregations, and do whatever we could the best to spread the message of Bhagavatam. That is a clear instruction of Srila Prabhupada here. Okay, so that we will establish Sanatana Dharma. Okay, that is what is been covered in this sloka. Prabhuji's Matajis. I'm moving to the next sloka, sloka 21. Hope this is fine, Prabhuji's Matajis. Okay, my voice and everything is fine. If not, please let me know.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sorry, I could
Hare
not
Krishna,
hear.
Prabhuji.
Is this clear, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, here. Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Thank you.
last sloka, why he is calling original king? A translation lo paina. Any specific reason why he is calling original king?
Yeah, that is what. He's been calling it as a Adi King or original King, Prabhuji. The reason for that is he's been followed all these rules 100% perfectly. And he's getting all the his citizens to follow in the devotional path, Prabhuji. That is the reason it is being called as a original king or Adi King. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been called it as Prabhu. Okay,
Okay.
100% Varnashrama Dharma is being followed. Okay, in the kingdom of Prithu Maharaj. Okay, that is the reason he was so happy, and it is being called as a Adi King. Hope that has been answered.
Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm moving to the next sloka, Prabhu. Okay, the translation. The Supreme Person of the Godhead stood with his lotus feet almost touching the ground while he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Maharaja Prutu, wiping the tears from his eyes, okay, tried to look upon the Lord, but it appeared that the king was not fully satisfied by looking at him. Thus, the king offered following prayers. Now he is not able to see now the Lord, how he was standing, he was almost touching on the ground. He has put his legs he has put his legs on the lotus feet. He's on the actual ground, on the bhumi, on the earth, on the mother earth. He has put, that is what he's being told. He's so merciful. Because of that reason, he has put his legs on the ground, and on his hand he has put on the Garuda. That is what he's been told, and that is what is been the description here. Now he's not happy, so seeing what he could see, and he's wiping and the tears from his eyes, and then he was seeing the Lord, and he started offering his prayers. So from the next sloka, we will see what is his prayers, Prabhuji's Matajis. So let us understand some points from this purport. Anybody wants to read these three paras, Prabhuji Mataji? Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah.
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Akinchen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You want me to read from important points of purpose?
Yes, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
Yes. The significant point in this verse is that the Lord was standing above the ground, almost touching it. The residents of the upper planetary system beginning from the Brahmaloka, the planet where the Lord Brahma lives, down to the Svargaloka, the heavenly planet of Indra, and so advanced in spiritual life that they come to visit this or similar other lower planetary systems. They keep their weightlessness. This means that they can stand without touching the ground. Lord Vishnu is the supreme personality of Godhead, but because he lives in one of the planetary systems within the universe, he sometimes plays as if one of the demigods of the universe. When he first appeared before Prithvi Maharaj, he was not touching the ground of this earth. But when he was fully satisfied with the behavior of the character of the Maharaj Prithu, he immediately acted as the supreme personality of Godhead Narayana from the Vaikuntha. Out of the affection for the Prithvi Maharaj, he touched the earth, but rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda. This carrier as if to prevent himself from the falling down. Since the Lord is not accustomed to stand on earthly ground, these are all the symptoms of his great affection for the Prithvi Maharaj. Perceiving his fortunate position, Prathu Maharaj could not fully look upon the Lord due to ecstasy, but still a flattering voice he began to offer the prayers.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu. He was so merciful on the Prithvi Maharaj. Okay, he wants to spend some more time. That is the reason. It has been very clearly mentioned. He was not touching the ground on the earth, but when he was fully satisfied with the behavior character of the Maharaj Prithu, he immediately acted as supreme person of the Godhead Narayana from Vaikuntha. Okay, he was so merciful. He wants to spend little more time with Prithu Maharaj, and he landed on the Mother Earth. That is what is being told. So, what is the prayers? Okay, prayers of Prithu Maharaj, which we are entering into the section 3. Okay, from the sloka 23, we will see Prabhu. Prabhuji's Mataji's. Now, starting with sloka 23, it has been told by Prithu Maharaj, my dear Lord, you are the best of demigods who can offer benedictions. You can give any benediction. Okay, why therefore? Okay, should any learned person ask you for the benedictions, be it for the living entities bewildered by the modes of nature? Such benedictions are available automatically even in the lives of living entities suffering in the hellish conditions. My dear Lord, you can certainly bestow merging into your existence, but I do not wish to have such a benediction. Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. Here, Lord Vishnu asked Prithu Maharaj to take a benediction. Okay. Take whatever you want. Then here, Prithu Maharaj started giving a reply, saying that he started saying, Lord, I don't want to take any benediction from you. Who will take the benediction? I don't want to stay in this material life. Okay. Okay, and also I am not interested to merging into you. Okay, I'm not here. What he's saying, merging into the Lord. Okay, I'm not interested for that. Okay, Kaivalya. Okay, Mukti. I'm not interested even Mukti, merging into you. Okay, so he started saying, started giving reply. I don't want any benedictions. So this sloka will continue. Okay, and the next sloka he will further clearly says, okay, I'm not interested in any benedictions. So Lord Vishnu asked to take benediction, but Prabhu Maharaj is saying that not interested. So let us understand, okay, from the Prabhupada purport. There are different kinds of benedictions according to the person's demands. Okay, so three different kinds of benedictions. Okay, depending upon the person demands. So Prabhupada is clearly mentioning what are the different kind of benedictions we can take. Okay, karmis, jnanis, devotees. Okay, what kind of benedictions people take? The Prabhupada is explained. Let us see one by one. For karmis, the best benediction is the promotion to the higher planetary system, where the duration of life is very long and standard of living is happiness is very high. The karmis, okay, who do some puja, some vrata, okay, they do that for getting something swargaloka. That is what karmis do, okay. And thereafter, namely jnanis or yogis, who wants a benediction of the merging into the existing of the Lord. What is that karmis and yogis and jnanis do? They want into the merging into the Lord. This is called kaivalya. The Lord therefore addressed as a Kaivalyapati. In the previous slokas, it is being mentioned that you are a Kaivalyapati. Okay. Prithu Maharaj is being called as you are a Kaivalyapati. The master of the Lord of the benediction is known as a Kaivalya. But the devotees receive a different type of benediction from the Lord. Devotees are anxious neither for the heavenly planet nor merging into the existing of the Lord. According to the devotees, Kaivalya, merging into the existence of the Lord, is considered going to the hell. This word called hell. Okay, the word Naraka means hell. So the devotees will never expect to have liberation or Kaivalya. So we never ask the Lord to merge into you. Okay, that itself we think it as a hell. Okay, devotee. Similarly, everyone who exists. So here Prabhu Maharaj is saying, I don't want to merge into you. Okay, he's a devotee. In the same way, we also would never expect a merge into you. Similarly, everyone who exists in the material world called Naraka, because the material existing itself known as hellish condition of life. We all know how Naraka this is. Prithu Maharaj, however, expressed that he was interested neither in the benediction desired by his karmas nor desired by jnanis or yogis. In one sloka, Prithu Maharaj said, I am not interested like a jnanis or yogis or karmis. Okay, I don't want any higher planets. I don't want to merge into you. In one sloka, he straightaway said. Okay, so here, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Prabhu, a greatest devotee of Lord Chaitanya, he mentioned here, described that the Kaivalya is no longer than a hellish condition of the life. As for the delight of the as for the delights of the heavenly planets, they are actually okay willow wisps. Okay, they are not wanted by the devotees. Devotees do not even care for a position held by the Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. Okay, see here the last sentence is very important. Devotees do not even care for a position held by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, nor does a devotee desire become equal to the Lord Vishnu. We don't want position of Lord Vishnu. We don't want position of Lord Brahma. We don't want position of Lord Shiva. Okay. A pure devotee of the Lord Prabhupada made his position very clear. So what is that a devotee wants? That we will see it in next sloka. Okay. Shall I move on, Prabhujis, Matajis? Is it clear? I see only 9 are there, but still at least 9. Let's understand these purports and translations. Okay. Hopefully, this is pretty clear, straightforward, what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in these purports. So I'll proceed. If any statement is not clear, anything is not clear, yeah, okay, please ask me to stop. Prabhujis, Matajis. Okay. Now here, in this sloka, Prithu Maharaj asking, what is that he wants? What benediction he wants? This is very important sloka, Prabhuji's Mataji. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existing in the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. I want benediction. Please listen this very carefully. What benediction? Maharaj is asking, I want benediction of at least 1 million years. How many he wants? He wants at least 1 million years. Further, I may be able to hear about glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees. Here he is asking two things. He wants 1 million years so that he will hear the glories of the lotus feet of Lord. And from whom he wants to hear? He don't want to hear from anybody. He wants to hear from his pure devotees. That is the benediction Tutu Maharaj is asking the Lord. That is what a devotee is. Okay, we all should aspire. So we should have the interest for the listening the Krishna Katha. From whom? From pure devotees. From pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, from the pure devotees of Prabhupada and Prabhupada disciples. Okay, so from them, from our Siksha Gurus. So we should ask, we should pray that I should have taste that. Okay, to have the uh, I will get some taste. Okay, by hearing Krishna Katha okay, from the pure devotees. That is what we should always seek for, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. Yeah, we should not ask anything else. Please give the test. Okay, please give the test for chanting your names. Okay, for hearing Krishna Katha from pure devotees. That is the only desire we should have as a pure, as a devotees, as even aspiring devotees. Okay, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. So let us understand purports. We should follow the footsteps of Prithu Maharaj. Okay, in the previous verse, Maharaj Prithu addressed the Lord as a Kaivalyapati, the master of the liberation of the merging into the existing. This does not mean that he was anxious for a Kaivalya liberation, even though he's been called as, okay, you are a Kaivalyapati, but he is not interested. Prithu Maharaj is not interested in Kaivalya liberation. This is made it clear in this verse. My dear Lord, I don't want such a benediction. It's very clear. Maharaja Prithu wanted to have a million years to hear the glories of lotus feet of the Lord. In fact, Prabhuji's Mataji doesn't require any further explanation. Prabhupada has clearly written everything in the purport. You start reading, we start reading the purport. We are done. We understand everything. We don't need our own words to understand, okay, the message of Srila Prabhupada or Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Prabhupada's purports are good enough for us to read and understand, okay. Our own words, our own sentences doesn't need actually speaking, okay. So let us understand from the purport what is the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. He specifically mentioned that the glories of Lord should emanate from the mouth of pure devotees who speaks from the crores of their hearts. It is stated that the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam became more relishable because it is emitted from the mouth of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So what it is mentioned? Sukha Mukhat Amruta Drava Samyutam. So that is what we are hearing from Sukadeva Goswami. That is so nectarious. That is what Amruta. That is what we are trying to distribute in 500 temples today. How fortunate we are. There is no much fortunate than this. That is what Lilananda Prabhu is saying in every session to all of us. Let us distribute this nectar to everybody in this planet, to everyone in this planet. One might think that these glories, okay, of the Lord can be heard from anywhere. One might think that these glories of the Lord can be heard from anywhere. See, it is very clear. From the mouth of either devotees or non-devotees. We can hear from devotees or non-devotees. But here it is specifically mentioned that the glories of the Lord must emitted from the mouths of pure devotee only. It is the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. There is an opportunity for you to hear from devotees and not devotees, but hear from pure devotees. Okay. So again, it is mentioned by what Sanatana Goswami mentioned. See, Sanatana Goswami has strictly prohibited hearing from the mouths of non-devotees. Okay. So that is what is clearly mentioned. The word, okay, Satam, okay, Prasanga, Mam, Virya, Samvidh, okay, which is Bhagavatam 3.25.25 means that the glorification of Lord is potent when uttered from mouth of the pure devotee. Okay, it becomes, okay, it will become more potent if you hear from pure devotee. The Lord has innumerable devotees. How many devotees Prabhupada has? He has so many disciples. Okay, so we are so fortunate to connect to ISKCON, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. So where we could connect to so many pure devotees. Yeah. Okay, so we could hear from pure devotees. That is what he is saying. So for conditioned soul, therefore, it is very important to hear from the mouth of pure devotees who are fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord without any material desire. The pure devotees do not have any material desire. That is what is pure devotee, right? Okay, and they don't speculate the knowledge. Okay, and consummate the modes of they don't have they're connected not connected with the material of nature. Just 2 days back, we have seen a video. Okay, Jay Patak Maharaj has visited one of the our Santosh Aditya Prabhu's brother's house. See, what is the condition of Jay Patak Maharaj? And where all he's visiting every corner of the and sharing his love, okay, and distributing this particular knowledge. So how can we thank them? It's not possible to thank them. We just can only hear them. That's all. And can pray the Lord to extend their life. That's all. We can't do anything else. So no words when I have seen that video. No words. Every one of us, okay, every one of us in this Kali Yuga are Kuyogi, okay, because we engage in the service of material world. See, here the Prabhupada is introducing two words here. Kuyogi. Kuyogi means who are connected to this material world, forgetting eternal relationship with the Lord. So if somebody is not, we don't have the eternal relationship with the Lord, okay, that is what Kuyogi, and it is duty. Okay, see, every one of us kuyaki because we engage in the service of the material world, forgetting the eternal sheep with the Lord, okay, with His eternal loving servants. It is our duty to rise from kuyagi platform to suyogi. So from kuyagi, we have to become suyogi. So what is suyogi? The process of hearing and the process from the pure devotee recommended in the Vedic scriptures, especially by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then you become Suyogi, from Kuyogi to Suyogi. So, hope we understand the meaning of Kuyogi. Kuyogi is somebody who is attached to the material world. Suyogi who is attached to the Krishna Katha and to the devotional service. That is Siyogi. One may stay in the position life and it does not matter what it is, but one hears from the mouth of pure devotee gradually comes to the understanding of the relationship with the Lord. Okay. And this engages loving services and his life becomes completely perfect. So Prabhuji's Mataji's, there is big advantage by hearing Krishna Katha from a pure devotee. What is that advantage? We understand our position. Gradually comes understanding of his relationship with the Lord. So by hearing Krishna Katha from a pure devotee, we ourselves know what is our relationship with Krishna. We will realize that. And we continue our service, loving service with our spiritual position. We'll realize our spiritual position, okay, and becomes completely perfect in this life. That is the power of listening. That is what he's saying. Therefore, the process of hearing from the mouth of pure devotee is very important, making progress in the life of spiritual understanding. Okay, let's move on. The next sloka. My dear, highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotee, what Pradhu Maharaj is asking? He's asking for the association of pure devotee. Hears even once the glories of your activities. He does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, gives up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless to leave up their association. See, this proper translation itself is so strong, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Here he is saying that if somebody leaves, okay, and doesn't hear anything, or like, and the association of the devotee is treating it as an animal, and he has no intelligence, and he's so careless, so he's been treating it as an animal. It's not. We have not even gone to purport. It's a pure translation, Prabhuji Mataji's. The perfection of chanting, see, the perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess Fortune. Means goddess Lakshmi is also wants to hear your glories. And what is that she wants to do? She wants to chant your name, chant your name. She wants to hear your glories. She wants to chant your name. That is what even goddess Lakshmi, Fortune, does that. So who desire to hear your unlimited activities and transcendental glories? If somebody is not interested these two, okay, it's like it's nothing but animal. Okay, he doesn't have a human qualities. That is what Prudu Maharaj is saying here. All right. So let us understand purport. Anybody wants to read first two paras, Prabhuji? Prabhuji Mataji. Anybody wants to quickly read first two paras? And then we'll go to the third para, important para. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Satya Prabhu, please read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. One second, Prabhuji. It's too small, actually. I need to wear some glasses. Yes, Prabhuji. Uh, the Association of Devotees, Arya Sangha, from there, right, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yeah.
Arya Sangama.
Arya Sangama is the most important factor in in this world.
Hmm.
The word Arya refers to those who are advancing spiritually in the history of the human race. The Aryan family is considered to be the most elevated community in the world because it adopts the Vedic civilization.
Hmm.
The Aryans, the Aryans family is distributed all over the world and is known as Indo-Aryans.
Hmm.
In prehistoric days, all of the members of the Aryan family following followed the Vedic principles and therefore they became spiritually advanced.
Hmm.
The kings known as Ra- Rajarshis
Hmm.
were so perfectly educated as Kshatriyas or protectors of the citizens
Yes.
and so greatly advanced in spiritual life
Haribol.
that there was not a bit of trouble for citizens.
Yes.
Second paragraph.
Hmm.
The glories of the Supreme Lord can be very much appreciated by the Aryan family. Although there is no bar for others, these members of the Aryan family were quickly catch the essence of the spiritual life. How is it? How is that we are finding it is very easy to spread Krishna consciousness among the Europeans and
Americans. Hmm.
Americans.
Hmm.
The history reports that the Americans and Europeans proved their capabilities when they were anxious to expand colonization.
Yes.
But
At
but
present.
at the present time, being contaminated by the advancement of material science, their sons and grandsons were turning into
Hmm.
reprobates.
Hmm.
This is due to their having lost their uh,
Original spiritual culture. Okay, which is
original
Vedic.
spiritual
Yeah, which is Vedic civilization.
which is Vedic civilization. Presently,
Hmm.
these descendants of the Aryan family were
Hmm.
taking this Krishna consciousness movement very seriously.
Hmm.
Spiritual culture, which is very Vedic civilization. Presently, these descendants, okay, sorry, others who are associating with them and hearing and chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra
Hmm.
from the lips of the pure devotees are also becoming captivated captivated by the transcendental vibration.
Hmm.
Transcendental vibrations are very much
Hmm.
effective when chanting among the Aryans.
Hmm.
But even though one does not belong to the Aryan family, he will become a uh, Vaishnava simply
Hmm.
by hearing the mantra because of the vibrations has great influence over everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So here, Prabhu Pada, he's talking about Aryans. Aryans are always, historically, they are the ones, okay, the families who progress the spiritual path because they follow the Sanatana Dharma. Now, like Prabhupada is saying, okay, Westerners, maybe around 600-700 years back, maybe 800 years back, Europeans, they came and established the colonies and they were successful. So why it is? Because the reason is like they were involved to some extent spiritual culture. They had that spiritual culture because of that they got the energy and they were successful. But now that was not the case. But slowly now, because of this Hare Krishna movement, even Westerns, Europeans are adopting, even if they are not Aryans. Okay, if somebody just adopts a Krishna conscious, they are intelligent. Okay, they will come out. Okay, they will improve. That is what is Prabhupada is saying. So the last Vera, okay, Maharaja Prithu points out that even the goddess fortune, okay, see here, even the goddess fortune, goddess Lakshmi, is the constant companion of Lord Narayana, specially wanted to hear about the Lord glories. And for the association of the gopis, who are the pure devotees, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi underwent severe austerities. The imperialist may ask why one should bother chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra continuously for so many years, instead of stopping and trying for Kaivalya liberation or merging into the existing of the Lord. Okay, somebody liberation might ask like, why should we? Let's go and merge. Okay, but here no Maharaj. Okay, that liberation, whoever is asking liberation, okay, we should put this particular Bhagavatam in his hand. The people are just away from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam knowledge. Because of that, all these sampradayas are coming. Where, okay, just go and merge into the Lord. Just close your eyes, sleep for some time. At the end of the life, you will merge into the Lord. Okay, that is what is today. All centers are running. All spiritual centers are running. We should put Bhagavatam in their hand and ask them to understand what Pradhu Maharaj has told so many thousands, millions of years back. This is not now Pradhu Maharaj's story. In answer, Maharaj Prabhu maintains that the attraction of this chanting is so great that one cannot give up the process unless he is an animal. See here what highlighted Prabhupada is saying. Okay. If you maintain the attraction of chanting is so great that one cannot give the process unless if somebody is animal, then only he will give. This is just wrong statement. Prabhupada and Prabhu Maharaj is saying here. Okay. This is the case even if one comes in contact with the transcendental vibration by a chance. Okay, Prudu Maharaj is very empathetic in this connection. Only an animal can give up a practice of chanting Hare Krishna. See how strong Prabhuji's Mataji is. How strong. Only an animal can give up the practice of chanting Hare Krishna. If somebody is getting away from the practice of Hare Krishna, Maha Mantra, Prabhupada is saying, and Prudu Maharaj is saying, and Bhagavatam is saying, he is nothing but an animal. Those who not animals but actually an intelligent, advanced human, civilized men cannot give up the practice of continuously chanting Hare Krishna mantra. If you think we are civilized, what is that we have to chant? We have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Bhagavatam ki Jai. And we don't know how fortunate we are to study this Bhagavatam. We're trying to, at least I'm trying to not to become animal. That's all. Hare Krishna. Let us continue. Next translation. Now I relish. Now I wish. So now he is giving his wish. Now I wish to engage in the service of lotus feet of the Supreme Person of the Godhead and serve just like a goddess fortune. Just like how goddess fortune is serving your lotus feet, I also want to serve like that. Who carries a lotus flower in her hand? She carries always a lotus flower in her hand because his lordship, the Supreme Person of the Godhead, is a reservoir of all transcendental qualities. I am afraid that the goddess of fortune, I am afraid that the goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would attentively engage in the same service. See here, Pradhu Maharaj is saying something. I am wishing you to serve your lotus feet. Mother Lakshmi is also wishing to your lotus feet. Maybe we may have a fight between each of us to serve your lotus feet. See how interesting this particular translation and purports are, Prabhuji Mataji. So basically, actually, if we start reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Prabhuji's Mataji's, we can just literally immerse into it. Okay. All right. The Lord here addressed as a Akhila Purushottama. Here, Lord is addressing him as a Akhila Purushottama, the supreme person of the Godhead, Akhila Purushottama. Lord, the entire creation. Now, Purusha means the enjoyer, the Uttama means the best. That is what is Purushottama. Therefore, different kinds of Purushas, okay, are the enjoyers in this universe. Different types of Purushas are there in this world. Generally, they are divided into three classes. So, the Purushas being classified as three. So, here Prabhupada is further explaining. Uh, those who are conditioned, those who are liberated, and those are eternal. Those one is conditioned, Baddha Jivas like me. Okay. They are also Purushas, like here I'm enjoying. That is what is conditioned. So, and some of them are liberated. Okay. And some of them are purely eternal. Okay. So, in the Veda, Supreme Lord called the Supreme Eternal or the Eternals. Okay. Nityo Nityanam. Both the Supreme Personality. Okay. Both the Supreme Person of the Godhead and the living entities are eternal. So we are and Supreme are both are eternal. That is what Bhagavad Gita is saying. Krishna is told in Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Eternals are Vishnu Tattva. Who are Vishnu Tattva? Here is explained. The Lord Vishnu and his expansions are what? Vishnu Tattva. So Nitya refers is the person of the Godhead, beginning of the Krishna, Mahavishnu, Narayana, and other expansions of Lord Krishna. As stated in Brahma Samhita, there are millions and trillions of expansions of Lord Vishnu. Okay. Every expansion has a Vishnu. That we read multiple times. Okay. Vishnu. Every expansion has a Vishnu. Every universe has a Vishnu. How many universes are there? We don't know. That is what is being told. Only millions and trillions of expansion of Lord Vishnu. Okay. Or as Rama or Narasimha or Varaha and incarnations. All of them are called eternals. That is one. The next one is Mukta Purushas. Mukta Purushas refers to the living entities who never come to this material world. They are always there in the material, spiritual world. They will never come to this material world. They are Muktas. Okay. The Bhattas are those living entities like me. Okay. Entities who are almost eternally living within this material world. Okay. What is the third category? Bhattas, who are there in this material world. The Bhattas are struggling very hard within this material world to become free from the threefold materials of material nature and enjoy the life, whereas Muktas are already liberated. That is what he's saying here. Muktas are already liberated, Bhattas are always here, and they think that there is something here to enjoy. Okay, and they will never come out of the Maya, three modes of material nature. Okay, they never come into the material. They never come into this. Okay, that is the Lord Vishnu is a master of material world, and there is no question of his being controlled by material nature. Consequently, Lord Vishnu is addressed by a Purushottama, the best of living entities, namely Vishnu Tattva, Vishnu, Krishna, Vishnu, okay, Kshirodaya Vishnu, Garbhodaya Vishnu is all Vishnu Tattva. That is what he's saying. Okay. The Mayavadi philosophers equate the Jivas and Supreme Lord, consider them as one. See here what Mayavadis think. The Mayavadi philosophy equates the Jivas, we all, and the Supreme Lord consider them as one. How foolish it is. But the greatest offense was to Lord. This is the greatest offense to the Lord feet of Lotus Vishnu. If you think we are same as Lord Vishnu or Bhagavan, then that is a great offense. Is being told here. Be very careful. So let's move to the next sloka. Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. Great saintly persons who are always liberty to take your devotional service because only devotional service, see here, because only devotional service can be only relieved from illusions of material existence. Oh my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated souls who take the shelter at your lotus feet, except that such souls are constantly think of your lotus feet, your feet. Okay. See what is being told here? Great saintly people who are always liberated. Take what is that they take? They take only devotional service. By only devotional service can be relieved from the illusion. Okay. How do you come out of this material world? Can you become karmis? No. Can we become jnanis? No. Only the mark, only the way we have is what? Come out of this material world. Okay, material world is devotional service. Prabhuji's Mataji's. The actual key is here. We already know, but again, this particular sloka is also telling the same. Whoever is in Gachibowli Satsang group, we already know devotional service is the only way. Oh, is the only way. Is the only way to come out of this world. Okay. And take the shelter of lotus feet of Lord. Okay. So let us quickly read these two paragraphs. Anybody wants to read these two paragraphs? Prabhuji's Mataji's. And then we'll go to the next sloka. Hare Krishna. Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. The purport. The karmis are generally engaged in repetitive activities for material bodily comforts. The jnanis, however, are disgusted with searching after material comforts. They understand that they have nothing to do with this material world, being spirit souls. After self-realization, the jnanis who are actually mature in their knowledge must surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, self-realization is not complete unless one comes to the devotional platform. Therefore, it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that those who are Atma Rama, self-satisfied, are freed from all contaminations of the material modes of nature. As long as one is affected by the modes of material nature, especially by Rajas and Tamas, he will be very greedy and lusty and will therefore engage in hard tasks, laboring all day and night. Such false egoism carries one species of life into another perpetually. And there is no rest in any species of life. The Gnanis understands this fact and therefore ceases to work and takes to karma sannyasa.
There's no point of taking such a hard work. Okay, that is what his Prabhupada is mentioning. So you work so hard, okay, you will get some results. What is that? You enjoy, no? Again, you will take the birth. Okay, so the karma marga is not at all helps for us to come out of this particular birth and death cycle. That is what Prabhupada is very clearly mentioning here. Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhu. Next para.
Yes, Prabhu. Yet this is not actually the platform of satisfaction. After self-realization, the material wisdom of the Gnanis leads him to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he is satisfied only in contemplating the lotus feet of the Lord constantly. Prithu Maharaja therefore concluded that liberated persons taking to the devotional path have acquired the ultimate goal of life. If liberation were the end in itself, there would be no question of a liberated persons taking to devotional service. In other words, the transcendental bliss derived from self-realization, known as Atmananda, is very insignificant in the presence of the bliss derived from devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Prithu Maharaja therefore concluded that he would simply hear of the glories of the Lord constantly and thus engage his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. By doing devotional service, what happens to us? We get a bliss. Okay, by sitting ideal, doing meditation, you releasing your soul doesn't get that level of bliss. That is what is Prabhupada is mentioning. Let's take a simple example, Prabhuji. You have a small deity in our room, okay, in our altar. Think that that's a Lord sitting in front of you. Offer, okay, water to the Lord. Offer prasadam. Feel that the Lord has taken the prasadam and then you are taking it. How happy you feel, Prabhu. Mataji. Okay. So no satisfaction it gives, okay, other than the devotion service. We could say so many examples, okay, in history. Take the example, okay, um, from Ramayana, okay. Um, Vishwamitra was fully satisfied. He's fully contented. He was fully happy after serving Lord Rama. He has given entire his knowledge and all his shastric knowledge, okay, astras, everything to Lord Rama and Lakshmana. He was so happy by doing so. He was fully contented. Yeah. So that is what is Prabhupada further emphasizing. Nothing gives more happy for us. That is what Puttu Maharaj is saying. Okay, let's move to the next sloka. My dear Lord. Okay. So Puttu Maharaj is further talking, Prabhuji Mataji. Okay. My dear Lord, what you have said to your unalloyed devotee certainly is very menu here for me. Not able to move this. Anybody is able to see the translation clearly? Can read it.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, please read the translation because some menu is covered, Prabhu. Zoom menu is covered for.
Okay.
My dear Lord.
My dear Lord, what you have said to your unallied devotee is certainly very much bewildering. The allurements you offer in the Vedas are certainly not suitable for the pure devotees. People in general, bound by the sweet words of the Vedas, engage themselves again and again in the fruitive activities, enamored by the results of the action, of their actions.
Thank you, Prabhu. So what
Sorry.
Prabhupada is saying here, What Pradhu Maharaj is saying, generally people will get trap of these, okay, sweet words of others, saying that when you ask for benediction, people say that, okay, I want this, I want that. No, I don't want anything else apart from serving your lotus feet. Okay, I just want serve you. That's all. I don't want anything more than that. Okay, in fact, Pradhu Maharaj is telling all of us, saying that this is what you should do. There is nothing else in this world. Okay, in the purport, okay, it is being told. Sri Narottama Das Thakur, a great acharya of Gaudiya Sampradaya, he said that the person who are very much attached to the fruitive activities of Vedas, namely Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, are certainly doomed. In the Vedas, there are three categories of activities: Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. Okay, what is Karma Kanda? Fruitive activities. Philosophy, Jnana Kanda, philosophical research, and Upasana Kanda is worship of the different demigods or receiving material benefits. That is Upasana Kanda. All these three are useless. It gives another birth. See how fortunate we are. The studying our syllabus is tremendously reduced. We don't need to study entire Veda. Okay, and just do this devotional, you're done. Okay, those who are engaged in Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda are doomed in the sense of everyone's doomed, in the entrapped with the material body, with the body of the demigod, a king or lower animals. What? Why Prabhupada is telling it again and again and again and again on these Prabhuji's Matajis? Because we took births, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions of births we took, and been fall on this trap, okay, of Jnana, okay, or Karma or Upasana are being trapped. Now Prabhupada and this Bhagavatam is telling, come out of this trap. God is waiting for all of us. Go back to Godhead. Take the surrender, okay, into the lotus feet. That is what is Bhagavatam is telling. Prabhupada is telling and again and again. It is not easy to come out. Okay, when you open WhatsApp, somebody tells something, you do that, you get this. You do this, you get that. In YouTube, you open Prabhuji's Mataji's. How many you will see? Hundreds, thousands you will see. Okay, don't get into the trap of that. Take the surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. That is what he is telling here. Okay, let's move on. Prabhuji's Mataji's. I think we're running out of time. 8:24 now. Uh, okay, I could move this. Um, my Lord, the next sloka 31. We have, I think, 36 slokas. We are at a 31. My Lord, okay, due to your illusion energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position. See here what Pradhu Maharaj is telling. My Lord, due to your illusion energy, because of your Maya, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitution position. Okay, what is exactly our position in our spiritual world? We forget that, and 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 out of ignorance, they are always desirous of this material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefit from you. Here, Pradhu Maharaj is saying, begging, please don't ask me to take some material benefit. No, I can't. See how stick Pradhu Maharaj on the devotional service. Hare Krishna. But as you father, see here, this is very important statement here, which I have put it in red mark. As a father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of son. Okay, as a father, is he always do the benefit of son. So please bestow upon whatever you think best for me. You give whatever you think best for me. You give that. Okay, he asked for benefits. No, he's not falling in the trap of that. Whatever you think is the best for me, you give that. See how smart we are, how smart Pradhu Maharaj is. So we also should, when we do our Mangal Harti, should not ask anything. Whatever you think is best, you grant. Whatever you're already doing the best for me. So there's nothing for me to ask you. Okay, that is how our prayer should be. That's all. There's nothing to ask. Okay. Pradhu Maharaj is explaining to all of us what to ask, what not to ask. Okay, so let us read this first purport. It is first para. It is the duty of the son. See here, it is the duty of son to depend on his father without asking anything from him. Is our father don't know what is best for my child? Yes, he know. So the good son has a faith that the father knows the best how to benefit him. So there is no need for a son or a daughter to ask. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for the material benefit. He know what to give. He know what is best. He will automatically arrange for me. Nor does he ask anything for the spiritual benefit. We don't need to ask even spiritual benefit. The pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord. See how beautiful it is. And the Lord takes the charge on him, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 18 or 16. What is mentioned in 18 or 16? Prabhuji's Mataji's Aham Tvam. If you do surrender, what happens? Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshikshami Masuchu. The Father knows the necessities of the Son and supplies them, and the Supreme Lord knows the necessities of the living entities and supplies them spontaneously. Okay, no, not spontaneously, simultaneously. Okay, spontaneously means like he gives so much to us. Okay, you want one, when the need comes, he will give 10 to us. Therefore, Ishopanit states that everything in this material world is a complete Purnamidam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness of the living entities create unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in these material lives. It's unnecessary stupidity. We ask something. I want this house. I want that house. I want this flat. I want that flat. I want this agriculture land. I want that land. It's nonsense. Doesn't need. Okay. What is best he will give when the time comes. That's it. That is the summary of this particular sloka, and that is what Prutu Maharaj is telling us. The result is that there is no end to the material activities, life after life. If you ask that, there is no end. Okay. Here, I am just going to the last para. The conclusion is that the pure devotee should not aspire for any material benefit from the devotion service, nor should enormous the fruitive activities or a philosophical speculation. He should always engage favorably by service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of the life. Hari Bol. So now we are entering into the section 4, which is 32 to 38. Last section we are entering Prabhuji's Mataji's. What is being covered in this section? The Lord leaves after offering his benediction. Now Lord is leaving. Okay. So how he is leaving is being explained in this section. Yeah. 7 slokas are covered in this last section. All right. So let us understand what is being told here in these last 6-7 slokas. Okay. The great sage. Now, this is all discussion happening between whom and whom? Maitreya Maharshi. Yeah, Maitreya. The great sage Maitreya continued by saying that the Lord is seer of the universe. After hearing Prithu Maharaj's prayer, addressing the king, my dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. This is what he said. Now, Lord is replying. What is replying? My dear king, you may always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. So what is a benediction? You ask to ask benediction. What is a benediction? I don't want any material benefit. I want only your service. That is what he said. No. Now Lord is replying back saying that, yes, I'm blessing you. Okay, always you have my devotional service. That is, Lord is blessed. Because he started living, he blessed and he leaves the place. And he will go back to Vaikuntha. Only such a purity, only by such a purity of purpose as you yourself very intelligently express can one cross over, okay, insoluble illusion energy of Maya. Is again telling this. Okay, only by having my devotional service, the bhakti. If you see the actual sloka, no, this devotional service is mentioned as a bhakti. I have seen that. Okay, then one can cross over this illusion energy of Maya. By bhakti only you can cross over Maya. Further, Lord Vishnu is emphasizing. Okay. So this is confirmed Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord claims that the illusion energy is insurmountable. No one can transcend the illusion energy of Maya by fruitive activity or speculative financial energy or mystic yoga. It's not possible by mystic yoga or by speculative philosophy. Okay, means by jnanis or by fruitive karmis. The only the means of transcendental energy by using energy of the Maya is only through a devotion service. The Lord himself stated. What did he say here? Okay. What did he say here? Mam eva ye prapadyantya mamam mayam etam trayantate. So if one wants to cross over the ocean of material energy, there is no alternative than to take the devotion service. Okay. A devotee therefore should not care of any material position, whether it is a heaven or hell. Even if you are in hell, no, it's okay. Okay, heaven or hell, give me the devotional service. For some reason we fall in heaven or hell, we should request for only devotional service, nothing else. A pure devotee should always engage in service of the Lord. For that, in his real occupation, that is his real occupation. Simply by sticking that position, one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. Then only we can overcome from the loss of this material nature. So I'm moving to the next sloka. Okay, sloka 33. Okay, my dear king, O protector of the citizens. Second. Okay, oh, my dear king, O protector of the citizens. Okay, henceforth be very careful to execute my orders and not by misled by anything. Anyone who lives in this way, simply carrying okay my order faithfully, will always find position, okay, find good fortune all over the world. Okay, that is what this sloka is talking. Okay, so purport, let us read the purport quickly. The sum and substance of religious life is to execute the orders of Supreme Person of the Godhead. One who does it so perfectly is religious. So in Bhagavad Gita 18.65, what is Krishna has told? Manmana bhav madbhakto. Just think of me always and become my devotee. Furthermore, the Lord says that Sarva dharman parityancha mamekam sharanam bhava. Sharanam Raja. That is what Prabhupada is writing in purport. So please remember these slokas from 1865, 1866 from Bhagavad Gita and do the devotion service. That is what is Prabhupada is further elaborating in purport. Okay, let us understand from the sloka 34. Anybody wants to read the translation, Prabhu? On 34? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, please read, Prabhu. Translation, read, Prabhu.
Uh, the great saint Maitreya told Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead amply appreciated the meaningful prayers of Maharaj Prithu. Thus, after being properly worshipped by the king, the Lord blessed him and decided to depart.
So he was happy with the prayers, whatever prayers he's done. He was happy what kind of benediction he has taken. He's happy with everything over there. And he started living. Okay, that is what his translation is talking about. So Prabhuji, Sunil Prabhu, you want to read the first para, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Most
Please.
important in this verse are the words Prati Na Drayathabad Vacha, which indicate that the Lord appreciated the very meaningful prayers of the king. When a devotee prays to the Lord, it is not to ask for material benefits, but to ask the Lord for his favor. He prays that he may be engaged in the service of the Lord's lotus feet, birth after birth.
Yeah, continue. Continue.
Lord Chaitanya therefore uses the words Mam Janmani, which means birth after birth. Because a devotee is not even interested in stopping the repetition of birth. The Lord and the devotee appear in this material world birth after birth, but such births are transcendental.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sunil Prabhu. Such a wonderful, very important paragraph this is. A devotee is not even fixed. Okay, let me go back to Godhead. No, he doesn't even desire that. Okay, birth after birth, only give me your service. That's all. Wherever I am, doesn't matter. Whether you want to give another birth, you give. You don't want to give another birth, you don't give. It's all, everything is your wish. Okay, that is what is pure devotional service. Prabhuji's Mataji's. It is like when Radhashtami, Lilananda Prabhuji has explained to all of us, the love is should be one-sided. Okay, you continue love, whether Krishna sees you or not doesn't matter. Krishna will always see you. Okay, but should be one-sided. That is what is a pure devotion service. That is what is this para is saying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, give me the devotional service birth after birth. Doesn't matter whether you break the cycle or you put me in hell or heaven or anywhere, doesn't matter. Such a high standard. The Bhagavatam is setting for all of us, Prabhuji's Matajis. In the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord informed Arjuna. This is very important paradise. He and Arjuna has undergone many births previously. The Lord remembered everything about them, whereas Arjuna has forgotten. The Lord and his confidential devotees appear many a times to fulfill Lord mission. Okay, but since such a births are transcendental, but they are not accompanied by the miserable conditions of material birth, and they are therefore called divya or transcendental. See, Arjuna and Krishna were took birth in many births. So why? It's not because of the Arjuna is a always baddha jivi. No, he's already a liberated soul, but he's taking the birth with Krishna. Why? So Krishna wants to take Arjuna wherever he goes. He's involving him in his devotional service. Okay, that is what we should aspire. It doesn't matter where we are. Okay, please involve me in your service wherever you are. That is what we should ask. One must understand the transcendental birth of the Lord and the devotees. The purpose of the Lord taking birth is to establish the devotional service, which is a perfect system of religion. And the purpose of birth of the devotees is to broadcast the same system of religion or the bhakti cult or the world. This is the highest standard, Prabhuji's Matajis. This is the next level of high standard. Every time, what is it we ask? Okay, get me out of this. Okay, I want to go back to Godhead. That is one level, but this is the next level. Prabhuji's Matajis. Yeah, okay. So let us move to the next sloka. Okay, 35, 36. So I will read the translation. Okay, 35, 36 slokas. I think we have slokas till 38, I guess. King Prutu worshipped the demigods. King Prutu worshipped demigods also, the great sages. Okay, and the inhabitants of Pitraloka, the inhabitants of, okay, what are all the lokas? The inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, okay, of those of Siddhaloka, okay, Charana Loka, and Pannaga Loka, and Kinner Loka, Apsara Loka, the three planets, and all the planets of the bards. He also worshipped many other living entities who presented themselves in the, okay, sacrificial arena. They all came here with folded hands. He worshipped all these, as well as the supreme person of the Godhead and the personal associates of the Lord. He offered the sweet words and as much wealth as possible. He offered everything. Okay, not only to the Lord, to Lord associates, and to everybody came from to all these planets. He did that offering. After this function, they all went back to their respective abodes, followed the footsteps of the Lord Vishnu. Okay, everybody has departed to their lokas. That is what is mentioned here. Okay, let us see the puppet. What is being mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada. It's all nectarious purpose actually what we are reading here today. I think we may need to take 10 more minutes. Shilpa Mataji, is that fine? Or we will read the next translation? Hopefully it is fine. Let us quickly read the puppet. Okay, in modern so-called scientific society, the idea is very prevalent that there is no life in the other planets, but only on this Earth do living entities with intelligent and scientist and knowledge exists. That is not the case. Okay, here in this particular purport, Prabhupada is saying, okay, it is foolishness that we think that only this particular planet has the jiva, no other planet has the not the jiva. No, Prabhupada is here further explaining, saying that the jivas are there in many planets. Okay, all these whatever we are talking about, okay, Gandharva Loka, okay, Siddha Loka, Charan Loka, all these lokas, okay, and the living entities were there and they were doing their duties. Okay, in Swargaloka maybe they are enjoying, and some of them might be doing devotional service as well. Okay, so all these were lokas were there. That is what is properties Prabhupada is explaining here to all of us. So next, let's move to the next sloka, 37th sloka. So the infallible supreme person of the Godhead, having captivated in the minds of king and the priest who were present returned to his abode of the spiritual sky. The infallible supreme person of the Godhead, having captivated in the minds of king and the priests who were present, returned to his abode in the spiritual sky. So Lord has left and he is went to his Vaikunta. That is what is mentioned here. So because the Supreme Person of the Godhead is all spiritual, he can descend from the spiritual sky without changing his body. And thus he is known as Achyuta. So Prabhupada is giving some more knowledge here. He is Achyuta, he is infallible. When the living entity falls down from the material world, okay, however, he accepts the material body and therefore he is a material embodiment. He cannot be called as Achyuta, like person like me and all of us fallen here, we took the material body. We are not Achyuta. Okay. Okay, because he falls down from the real engagement in the service of Lord, the living entity gets a material body. We all get this material body to suffer or try to enjoy. So we came here to enjoy, right? So that is the reason we get a body. So and also to enjoy and also to suffer. Okay, to suffer or try to enjoy this miserable condition of this life. Therefore, the fallen living entity is Chuta. Okay, Madhava is Achyuta and we are Chuta. Whereas the Lord is called Achyuta. The Lord was attractive for everyone, not only the king, but also priestly order, whoever very much addicted to the performance of Vedic rituals for everybody. Okay, he's attractive, so attractive. Because the Lord is all attractive, he's called Krishna. He's been attracted, so one who attracts everyone. Okay. See here, the Lord appeared in the sacrificial arena, Maharaj Prutu, as a Chirodaksai Vishnu. Okay, okay, which Vishnu has came and blessed the Lord, blessed the Prithu? That is Shirodaka Vishnu, who is a plain expansion of Lord Krishna. He is the second incarnation of Shirodaka Vishnu, who is the original material creation who expands the Garbhodaya Vishnu. From Garbhodaya Vishnu, Kshirodaya Vishnu. And who then enters into the each of the universe. So Kshirodaya Vishnu is the one of the Purushas who control this material mode of nature. That Vishnu came and gave a benediction saying that yes, I am available. Please grant. He has granted the devotion service to him. Is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. That is what been told in this purport. So let's move to the last sloka, 38, sloka number 38. Okay, King Prutu then offered his respectful obeisances to the Supreme Person of the Godhead, who is the Supreme Lord of all demigods. He has given his obeisances, where how we do our obeisances in the same way, he also did his obeisances. Although not an object of material vision. Okay, the Lord revealed himself in the sight of Maharaj Prutu. After offering the obeisance to the Lord, the king returned to his home. Okay, let us read these three paragraphs here very quickly. Okay, the Supreme Lord is not visible for material eyes. He is very clearly Prabhupada is saying. He is not visible for us. But when the material senses are inclined to the translator loving service of the Lord, when these material senses are inclined to the translator loving service of the Lord, and that purified, these senses are purified, then the Lord reveals himself to this vision of a devotee. So unless that happens, we cannot see. All right. Okay. Avyakta means unmanifested. Although the material world is a creation of the Supreme Person of the Godhead, he is unmanifested to these material eyes. Maharaj Prutu, however, developed a spiritual eyes. Okay. Prutu could see the Lord. How? He has a spiritual eyes. How he got the spiritual eyes? By his pure devotional services, he got the spiritual service. And what is that he's asking? I don't want to leave this devotional service. That is the only benediction he asked. Hence, here, therefore, the Lord described as a okay Sandhar Stitma. For he reveals himself to the vision of the devotee, although he is not visible for the ordinary wise. Thus ends up Bhaktivedanta purpose of 4th canto, 20th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Lord Vishnu appearance to us in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prutu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji's Matajis. We will see if you have any questions. Hare Krishna. Dandot pranams. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji's Mataji's.
You got it?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I think the session was very clear.
So what we should ask, you should ask only for devotional service. That's all, nothing else. Prabhuji. We just follow the
Hare Krishna,
footsteps of
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Padma Mataji. Any questions, Prabhuji's Mataji's? Only we are 8 today, but I think many are involved in devotional service. Many services are there. So I think everybody involved in that. Okay. Their own devotional services.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Usha Mataji.
It's very clear, Prabhuji, and it's really very nice, Prabhuji, to hear all this. I'm not involved in any devotional service, Prabhuji, actually. I'm so sorry.
Mataji, hearing itself is a devotional service, Mataji. You've been here from starting. So I don't know, we spent around 1.5 hours. 7:15 we started, 8:45, 1.5 hours. So this
Yeah,
itself is a
only
devotional
that
service.
I'm doing, Prabhuji, nothing more than
Yeah, that is what is.
reading
Actually, Pruth
or
Maharaj,
listening. That's
yeah,
it.
Pruth Maharaj said, I want a million years. A million years. 1 million చెవులు కావాలని అడిగారు.
అవును.
Okay. To hear and also glorify. Okay. So that is the ask. So that is what we should also should seek for. Nothing more than that is required.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Akechem Priya Prabhu. Any
Hare
final sentences, Prabhu, you want to give?
No, nothing, Prabhuji. Everything was fine, Prabhuji. Thank you for nice session.
Thank you, Prabhu.
We understand from Puttu Maharaj that we should not ask. Even the Lord was asking to merge into Brahman. He didn't want that. He just wanted to hear. He wants millions of years so that he can do hearing about the Lord. And also he's not asking for any kind of benediction. You know that if something is asked, you may end up with that would be the material action. That is what he and
No, so he grant whatever you desire. Okay. As a father, you know what you want. That is one sloka also came saying that you
yes.
are a father, you know, such a clear Bhagavatam is so clear. It is so clear for us. The message is so clear for us from Bhagavatam. Forget about even purpose. Even two translations are very clear for us. What is that we should be doing? Yeah.
Yes,
Praveen Prabhuji or Sunil Prabhuji, any final sentences, Prabhu, or Madhusudan Prabhu, or Shilpa Mataji? Any
Thank you so
final
much,
messages?
Prabhu. It was a really wonderful class, Prabhu. Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Dhanyavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanyavad Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any final message, Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji, you covered it very well, as usual. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Dhanyavad
Sunil,
Pranam.
thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Sunil Prabhu, Shilpa Mataji, any final messages from your side, Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. I think it was very clear in terms of how we should devote ourselves in devotional service and hear the glories of the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhu. Shilpa Mataji. So, if you are good, maybe we can end the session, Mataji, or final words. Anything, Mataji? Shilpa Mataji. Maybe she may not be able to unmute. There could be some technical problem in Zoom. For sometimes, like it may not allow to unmute. Prabhuji, you may leave everyone. Maybe I'll just check with Mataji. Shilpa Mataji.
I'll just call her, Prabhuji, 1 second.
Okay, Prabhu.